Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Wednesday, and I hope your week is going a lot better than the absolute chaos currently happening in Port Charles. Let's just dive right in because there is a massive amount of drama to unpack today, and honestly, my brain is still spinning from this episode. So I have been sitting here at my desk for I don't even know how many hours just trying to process what the writers are doing right now. And I am honestly a bit tired. My coffee's been cold for like 3 hours, but I still care about this show so much, and I just have to get these thoughts out before I lose my mind. Let's be real for a second, you guys. General Hospital has been giving us some absolute whiplash lately. Sometimes I wonder what they are actually thinking in the writer's room. Like, are they just throwing darts at a board? Because the stuff happening right now is so messy, but also I can't look away. I really can't. It feels like a first draft of a script that somehow made it to the screen, but in the best and worst ways possible. Let's start with the biggest bomb of the episode because I am still screaming at my television over Willow Kane. Yes, Congresswoman Willow Kane. What in the actual world is happening to this character? Last week we saw Willow sinking pretty low with her schemes, but today she just took an elevator straight down to the basement of soap opera villainy. I am not even exaggerating. So, we already knew she shot Drew Kane. That was already a massive secret that she is desperately trying to hide from everyone. Especially since Kai Taylor and Trina Robinson know about it. And she has been taking some bold steps to deal with her Trina and Kai problem. But the conversation she has with Nina Reeves today is just on another level. Nina is sitting there grilling her about why she is helping the Quartermains with the baby Phoebe Foster situation, and Willow just keeps pushing and pushing. Nina is already stressed out enough with the Jack Brennan and Valentine Cassadine triangle of doom. But Willow decides this is the perfect time to just drop the mother of all truth bombs. She confesses to Nina that she is the one who shot Drew. And Nina is just stunned. I mean, her face. The actress played it so well. Nina is just looking at her daughter like, who even are you right now? It's like she doesn't even recognize her own flesh and blood. But wait, it gets so much worse. Because Nina is trying to process the shooting and she asks about the stroke. Drew has been incapacitated and everyone thought it was a medical issue. A stroke. But Willow just looks at her with these dead eyes and says he didn't have a stroke. Nina asks what really happened to him then. And Willow just says, I did. 2 words. I did. Just cold as ice. She actually admits that her injection started this entire mess. She has been giving Drew a paralytic drug to keep him silent and immobile. Let that sink in for a minute. She paralyzed him. She took his congressional seat and she is keeping him chemically paralyzed so he can't talk and expose her. Who actually believes this is going to end well? Because I don't. This is so dark. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but no, I'm not. This is straight up evil. And then the blackmail. Oh my god, the blackmail. Willow doesn't just confess to clear her conscience. No, she is way too far gone for that. She admits how deep she is in with Jen Sidwell. We all know Sidwell is pulling her strings, and he is a terrifying guy. But Willow turns it around on her own mother. She tells Nina that Nina is in just as deep now too. Why? Because Willow actually had Nina give Drew a paralytic dose at some point, and Willow saved the syringe. She saved the syringe. The syringe that has Nina's fingerprints all over it. She is literally blackmailing her own mother. She tells Nina that if she goes down, they both go down. I had to pause the screen and just walk away for a second. What kind of daughter does that? I mean, I know their relationship's always been rocky, but this is next level toxic. So Willow is backing Nina into a corner. She makes it very clear that they have to work together to keep everything under wraps. And what is her first demand? She wants Nina to score Valentine Cassadine's location for Jack Brennan. Willow knows that Brennan has leverage over Nina, and Willow wants to make Nina's Brennan situation easier. So Willow's brilliant dirty strategy is to force Nina to betray Charlotte Cassadine. Because the only way Nina can get Valentine's location is by pumping Charlotte for information. Charlotte is just a kid who is already going through so much, including a massive car crash. And now she is going to be used as a pawn by Nina because Willow is forcing her to. Nina is fuming. She is absolutely fuming over being backed into this betrayal corner. And honestly, I don't blame her. I actually feel bad for Nina, which is not something I say every day. I really changed my mind about Nina in this episode. Usually she annoys me, but today she is purely a victim of Willow's absolute madness. Let's zoom out and talk about the bigger pattern here with Willow. How does this fit the show's usual style? Usually the good girl gone bad trope is a slow burn, but Willow has just snapped. She is ruthless. She is fierce and cornered and desperate. And desperate people do dangerous things. I think the fans on social media are going to lose their minds over this. Some people are going to hate it because they miss the sweet Willow, but honestly, I am kind of loving it. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. It gives the actress so much to do. But I am terrified for Charlotte and Valentin. Because if Brennan finds out where Valentin is hiding at Carly's house, it is going to be an epic blow up. Brennan is completely oblivious right now, but when he clicks those puzzle pieces together, it is going to be bad. Now let's switch gears and talk about my girl Brook Lynn Quartermain. I am so mad. I am so unbelievably mad about what the writers are doing to Brook Lynn right now. So a few episodes ago, we saw the massive car crash on Route 91. Jordan Ashford and Curtis Ashford crashed, and Danny Morgan and Charlotte Cassadine crashed. And the narrative is pushing so hard to make Brook Lynn the fall guy. Why? Because she had a glass or two of wine before heading to Charlie's pub for Gio's performance. And now Brook Lynn is grappling with what she thinks she has done. She's reeling over the news of the crash, and she has this memory of almost colliding with a vehicle that night. She is in full-blown panic mode. And the scene today with baby Phoebe just broke my heart, but also made me want to throw my remote at the wall. Brook Lynn is standing there with this sweet little baby. She and Harrison Chase just got conditionally approved to be Phoebe's foster parents. Ned is so eager to have a baby under the Quartermain roof again. And Brook Lynn is looking at Phoebe, and she basically confesses to the baby. She says, "I'm pretty sure I had something to do with that car accident." She is terrified. She doesn't want the truth coming out because she was drinking that night and she didn't stop to help. She thinks she caused it and just kept driving. This is going to completely jeopardize the foster situation with Phoebe. And Tracy's already in crisis mode trying to cover things up. But let's be real. Let's be completely honest here. We all saw what actually caused that crash. Curtis and Jordan were making out in the car. Jordan was driving and she took her eyes off the road to passionately kiss Curtis. That is distracted driving. That is just as bad as texting and driving. She swerved to avoid an oncoming car, which was probably Danny and Charlotte joyriding. But the show wants us to believe that tipsy Brook Lynn somehow caused this whole chain reaction. It is so unfair. It frames a redeemed character like Brook Lynn and sets her up to go backward. It makes us root for her to get caught and lose Phoebe just for the sake of drama. It is repetitive storytelling, and I am sick of it. Brook Lynn has worked so hard to become a good person, and now she is reduced to playing the villain in her own mind. I just want to give her a hug and tell her it wasn't her fault. But of course, in Soapland, she's going to suffer for months over this guilt. Speaking of the crash, let's talk about Jordan and Curtis. Jordan is finally awake in her hospital bed. She is severely injured. She was completely unresponsive when Valentine and Curtis pulled her out of the burning car. And now she is panicky. She wakes up and she is just freaking out. She blames herself for the accident and she's wondering if anyone else was hurt. And you know what? She should blame herself, because she was the one kissing her passenger instead of looking at the dark road. But of course, Curtis is right there by her side, offering reassurance. He is stepping up and doing everything he can to support her, which is sweet, I guess, but I just can't get over the hypocrisy of it all. Lucas Jones was interrogating Isaiah Gannon earlier about life-saving measures, so we know it was touch and go for Jordan. But now she is awake and panicking. I just hope the police actually investigate what happened, instead of just pinning it on Brook Lynn's empty wine glass. And then we have Britt Westbourne and Lulu Spencer. Oh my gosh, this storyline is just a mess, but a fun mess. So Britt is walking around with the weight of the world on her shoulders. She is dealing with Ross Cullum demanding his medication and trying to find out who shot him on the pier. She is dealing with Jen Sidwell threatening her life. She is dealing with Cassius Faison posing as Nathan West. And she bumps into Lulu. Lulu is already on edge trying to keep Rocco's secret about shooting Cullum under wraps. She just had to take Rocco to the ER for an infected hand. And Britt just looks at her and warns her. She is so adamant. She tells Lulu this thing with Nathan is a huge mistake. And Lulu is just caught completely off guard. Lulu is looking at Britt like she has two heads, because Lulu thinks she is falling for Nathan. But we the fans know the truth. We know it is actually Nathan's twin, Cassius Faison. And Cassius is loyal to Sidwell. He is dangerous. He is helping Britt smooth things over with Sidwell, but he is also warning Britt that Sidwell will permanently get rid of her if she doesn't deliver the prototype. So Britt is actually trying to do a good thing here. She is trying to steer Lulu away from a massive disaster, but Lulu is just so oblivious. She doesn't see the danger. And Britt can't just come out and say, hey, that's not your dead husband's twin. That's an evil imposter. Because Britt's own life is hanging by a thread. It is such a classic soap trope. The secret identity, the twin, the warning that gets ignored. I love it, but it also stresses me out so much. I I just want Britt to catch a break. She is suffering setback after setback and her freedom is just gone. Finally, let's talk about Sonny Corinthos and Ada Justine Turner. Because of course, Sonny is finding time for romance in the middle of a massive mob war. Jen Sidwell's vendetta is completely out of control. He's blaming Sonny for Jordan's car crash now. He thinks Sonny killed Marco Rios. Justine literally just gave Sonny a scary warning that he is in an extreme level of danger. She is worried he won't survive long enough for Sidwell to realize the truth. And what does Sonny do? He takes a gamble. He decides this is the perfect time to give Justine an open invitation for more sizzling encounters. They have been heating things up again, and Sonny is just leaning right into it. I mean, what is he thinking? What are they thinking? Justine is the acting district attorney. She is supposed to be upholding the law. And she is hooking up with the biggest mob boss in Port Charles, who is currently the target of a grieving psychotic father. It is so clunky, but it fits the show's usual style perfectly. Sonny always needs a distraction. And Justine seems to like having a personal life, even if it involves dodging bullets. But I just don't see this ending well. Rick Lansing is running around trying to keep Danny Morgan out of the mob. Alexis is freaking out. Danny wants to take the law into his own hands and get revenge on Sidwell for Jason Morgan being in WSB custody. And Sonny is just flirting. Sometimes I just have to laugh because it is so absurd. So yeah, that is where we are at today. A lot of heavy stuff. Willow is a monster who paralyzes people. Brook Lynn is a victim of bad writing and her own guilt. Jordan is panicking in a hospital bed. Britt is trying to save Lulu from a fake twin. And Sonny is flirting with the DA while his life is on the line. I am exhausted. I need to go microwave my coffee and stare at a wall for a while. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I being too hard on Willow? Is Brook Lynn going to lose Phoebe? Who knows anymore? See you guys next time if I survive the rest of this week's episodes.